The equation line is given in general form as 3x minus 7y plus 42. So we can find the x and y intercepts. Now the general form, we can use our relationships to find the x-intercepts and the y-intercepts. And essentially they work essentially the same. So if I were to find the x and y-intercepts, an x-intercept is basically when y equals 0. So when I plug in y equals 0 into this equation, so remember we can always substitute in coordinates. So when I substitute y equals 0, I'm going to be able to figure out the x coordinate that goes with that. So this becomes a linear equation. This always becomes 0. And if I subtract 42 from both sides, I can divide 42 by 3, and I'm going to get negative 14. So if we can actually find the x-intercepts by looking at that c coefficient, and it's negative c over a. So the x-intercept, and I'm going to just generalize this, and I'll put this in red. So the x-intercept is going to be negative c over a. The y-intercept we've already established as negative c over b. So finding the x-intercept, I'm going to graph this. I'm going to scale this axis, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Okay, so we'll say that's negative 14 right there. And finding the y-intercept, we're just going to say that the y-intercept is equal to negative 42 divided by the coefficient negative 7. So negative 42 divided by negative 7 is positive 6. So we end up with a y-intercept of positive 6. Okay, so there it is. So using those two coordinates, we can graph the line. So I'm just going to connect those points. And there's the equation of my line. Sorry, there's the graph of my line. Okay, and again, we can find this by using the intercepts, and the general form is fairly easy to use to find these intercepts. I'm just going to highlight these, because these are useful ways to graph the line. So here's a word problem. The cost of buying chocolate bars at a wholesale store is 50 cents per bar plus a membership cost of $30. So graph the relationship and determine the equation for the relationship in general form. Well, this information kind of has been given to us in the slope-intercept form because we have a starting amount, okay, which is our y-intercept, and we also have our rate, which should represent slope. So I think we're going to start this by writing the relationship. So the cost is equal to 50 cents times the number of bars plus the $30 membership. And so we can rewrite this. I'm just going to write this as a xy equation. If I want to put this into general form, I need to get rid of that decimal. So I'm going to multiply by 2. So I end up with 2y is equal to 1x plus 60. Solving, making it equal to 0, keep the x positive. We end up with x minus 2y plus 60 is our general form equation. Now this general form equation, let's face it, it's not as useful as this in expressing this relationship of the cost and the number of bars. But we can graph this. We have an y-intercept of $30. Okay. If I want to find my x-intercept, I can see that it's negative 60 chocolate bars, but we're just going to graph this using our slope. So for every 40 bars, we're going to get charged $20. So it looks like 30. That's going to be $45, $50 is probably right about here. Actually, I'm going to make a table of values. Let's do that just to make sure that we know exactly why we're graphing. So 0, $30. Okay, we're going to put in, what did we say, 50 bars. We're going to end up with $25 plus the original $30 charge, so that's going to be $55. So at 50 bars, we're going to end up with 45, 55, something around here. Okay. Let's do maybe 100 bars, or let's use 120, since we have it on our grid. 120 bars is going to cost us $60 for the 50 cents per bar, plus the 90, plus the 30 gives us $90. So we're going to have $90 here. So our relationship is going to look like this. Okay, and again we can see our slope. Okay, the slope of 50 cents per bar shows up here like this.